Guided. Hearing. Low. Mac. Music. Notes. Ping. Quick note. Selected. Sound. Open controls. Microphone. Microphone. On. Stop recording. Button. 3.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Use which
in today's video,
use which
we're
control to
actually
use
going
which
to do something a little interesting and a little different. So, I have demonstrated an accessibility feature before, but this time I'm going to be demonstrating a different one that's been in iOS for the longest time. I don't know when it was introduced, but I think it's actually an interesting feature. We are looking at switch control today. You may be able to see that I'm already in accessibility settings. And I'm going to show you how to set this up. Switch control does not work with voiceover on. The second you turn switch control on, voiceover will turn off. So this may not be totally useful to a blind person, but we're going to look at some of the settings here and how to set it up and how to use it. So this may be a bit of a longer video.
Switch control. Switch control allows you to use switches. 0 button.
This is the voiceover, this is the menu that you'll see.
Recipes. 2 button.
There are what are called
recipes. Tap middle of screen. Dimmed. Text field. Delete.
There are what are called recipes.
Turn pages. Launch recipe. None button.
I don't really know what these are for, so
switch
I'm not
control.
going to
Switch
play
control.
around with
Recipes.
this.
2. Scanning style. Auto button.
Scanning style is auto, and actually this is a quick scan, so you have to know when to stop.
Switch control mode. Item mode button.
I don't really know what this is.
Timing. Heading.
Timing.
Auto scanning time. Ones button.
Auto scanning time is 1 second.
Auto scanning time. Heading.
You can actually adjust this.
Auto scanning time. Heading. Auto scanning time. Heading. Second. 1. Decrement. Increment button. 1.05. 1.10. 1.15.
So I would prefer to have this at 2 seconds.
1.20. 1.35. 1.40. 1.
Just get up there.
1.65. 1.90. 2.00. Increment. Decrement. Increment button.
And I don't know what the highest is, but I'm not gonna go there.
Switch control.
We're just gonna get
Switch
out of here.
control. Auto scanning time.
Because you need to time it.
Pause on first item. 0.5s button.
Okay, I'm not too sure what this is for.
Loops. 1 button.
Loops. I'm not too sure what that's for either.
Move repeat. 0.5s button.
I really don't know what most of these settings are for, but I suppose it's, you could explore them.
Long press. Ones. Tap behavior. Focused item after tap. First button. Keyboard.
That's
heading.
fine.
Scan same key after tap. Switch button. On. Always tap keyboard keys. Switch. Extended predictions. Switch stabilization. Hold duration. Ignore repeat. Off. Point scanning. Heading. Gliding cursor. Head tracking. Off. Button.
I think this is for Vision Pro. This head tracking, because I didn't see that there before.
Audio. Heading. Sound effects. Switch button. Off.
I really don't know what that's for.
Use switch control to confirm. Use confirm with switch control. Switch button. Off. Side button confirmation. Heading. Save gestures. None. Cursor color. Blue. Large cursor. Switch. Visual. Heading. Groups items for faster now. Group items. Menu items. Button. Speech. On. Button.
Okay, so under audio, you want to go to where it says speech.
Speech. Switch button. Voices. Alex. Button.
And it will function off of the same voices that are used with voiceover.
Pause. Pause. Speak item attributes. Switch button. On. Pause while speaking. Switch button. On. Speaking rate. 60%. Switch.
So it's pretty much set up the same way I have my Alex.
Switch speech.
For
on.
my personal voiceover.
Rows 4 to 18 of 27.
Now we're going to look at how to set up a switch.
Switch control allows you switches. 0 button. Switches.
And I find that this works very well with a gaming controller.
Add new switch button.
We're going to click a button. It says add new switch.
One switch should be assigned to the select item action to ensure switch control functions correctly.
One switch should be assigned to the select item action to ensure switch control functions correctly. So
switches. Heading. Bluetooth devices button.
And this does work, like I said, with Bluetooth devices, including game controllers, mostly game controllers anyway, at least from what I've seen.
Bluetooth. Add new switch.
So we're going to click
Button.
on Add New Switch.
Source. Heading. External. Button.
You're going to click on External.
Selected. Activate your external switch.
That is the external switch.
External switches can be Bluetooth. External switches can be Bluetooth, game controllers, MIDI, or made for iPhone assistive switch control devices.
So the first switch control I'm going to activate is my A button, and that is for selecting items.
Alert. New switch. Text field is editing. Switch on. Character mode. Insertion point at start.
A.
Cap A. Alpha.
So that's
Cap A.
A. So we're going to name our switch by buttons on the controller.
New text field is editing. Cap A. Can't save. Button. Source. Back button.
Okay.
Action. Choose a switch action.
So we're going to choose a switch action now.
Scanner. Heading. Select item. Scanner menu. Stop scanning. Move to next item. Stop scanning. Scanner menu. Select item.
So in this case, we're going to do select item because that is what you would do in most cases with an A button in a lot of video games.
Long press. None. Default. Select. Cap A. Heading. Default. Select. Long press. Not. Long press. Switches. Back. Switches.
And then we're going to apply the same procedure for most of these.
Switches. Edit. Switch. Cap A. Add new switch. Source. External. Selected. Activate your external switch.
So there is no back button. You would have to highlight the back button on the top of the screen and then press A. The next thing we're going to do is our L1 button.
Alert. New switch. Cap L.
L.
Cap L. Numbers. 1.
1.
1. New text field is editing. L1. Can't save. External.
And
external. Back button.
This one is going to be used for
actions. Choose a app switcher.
Our app switcher. I'll do that.
Switches. Back button. L1. Heading. Switches. Switches. Add new switch. One switch should add new switch. Source. Heading. External. Selected. Activate your external switch.
We're going to do the same thing with L2, which is on the far right of the controller on the back.
Alert. New switch. Cap P. Cap L.
L2.
Cap L. Numbers.
Actually, no, that's R1.
Delete.
My bad.
Cap L. Cap R. Cap R. Numbers. 1. 1. New text can't save button. External. External. Actions. Heading.
So R1 is going to be the button I'm going to use for Notification Center. So you're going to need a button for App Switcher, Notification Center, Control Center, and Accessibility Shortcut.
Choose a switch action. Control Center. Notification Center. Switches. Back button.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the left panel for the app switcher and the accessibility option, while the right panel, I'll use it for either notification center and control center. And then I'll use the D-pad for personal navigation.
Switches. Switches. Add new switch.
For like
button.
navigating the screen.
Add new switch. Source. Heading. External. Selected. Activate your
So, let's see. We did L1. So app switcher, notification center. Control center.
Alert. New switch.
And the button I just clicked was R2.
Cap T. Cap R. Cap R. Numbers. 3. 2. R. Opening. Cap R. 2. 2. New text field is editing. R2. Save. External. External.
Okay.
Back button.
Very cool. Now, notification center, control center.
Shortcuts menu. Control center.
There you
Switches.
go.
Back button.
And then we're going to do
Switches.
that.
Add new switch. Button. Source. Heading. External. Selected. Activate your
We're gonna
external
press
switch.
L2.
Alert. New switch. Cap L. Cap L. Numbers. 2. 2. New text field is editing. L2. Can't save.
And
External.
For this, we're going to use accessibility shortcut.
Control set. Short. Escape. Apple Watch mirroring menu. Decrease volume. Increase volume.
You could use increase and decrease volume. Actually, we're going to set those up as X and Y.
Siri. Dictation. Accessibility shortcut. Switches. Back button.
So those are the next two we're going to do, actually. Increase
Switches.
and
Add new switch. Button.
decrease volume.
R2. Add new switch. Source. External. Selected. Activate your
So-
external switch.
X.
Alert. New switch. Cap C. Cap X. Cap X. Tech. Can't. Save. But. External. Shortcuts menu. Escape. Apple. Decrease. Increase volume.
Increase volume.
Switches. Back button. Switches. Add new switch. Button. Source. External. Selected. Activate your external switch.
Y.
Alert. New switch. Cap T. Cap Y. Cap Y. New. Tech. Can't. Save. Y. Save. External. External. Back button.
Is
Shortcuts menu. Escape. Apple Watch mirror. Decrease volume.
decrease volume.
Switches. Back button.
Now, if we try to use these buttons now, it's not going to do anything because voiceover is active and voiceover cannot work with switch control.
Switch. Cap Y. Heading. Switches. Switches. Add new switch. Button. Source. Head. External. Selected. Activate your external switch.
Now we're going to do the left and right arrow keys. Right.
Alert. New switch. Text field
And
is
I'm
edited.
just going to leave it as R.
Cap R. Rome. Cap R. New. Save. Button. External. External. Back. Action. Choose. Scanner. Head. Select item. Scanner menu. Stop scanning. Move to next item.
Move to next item.
Switches. Back button. Switches. Add new switch. Button. Source. External.
External.
Selected. Activate your external switches can be
gonna
Bluetooth,
do
game controllers,
left.
MIDI, or made. Alert. New switch.
And this one's going to be labeled
Cap L. Cap L. New. Can't. Save. Choose. Scan. Select. Scanner menu. Stop scanning. Move to next item. Move to previous item. Switches. Back button.
Now, I think personally it probably would have made more sense to use increase volume and decrease volume as your up and down arrows because you have those right there on the fly with the one finger you are going to be using on the left side of the controller.
Cap. Switches. Back button. Switches. Add new switch. Button.
We're also going to do a stop scanning.
Source. External. Button. Selected. Activate your
For stop scanning, we're going to use our B button. B.
alert. New switch. Cap B. Cap B. Can't save. External. External. Back button. Choose. Scanner menu. Stop scanning. Switches. Back button. Switches. Add new switch. Button.
And pretty much all of the buttons here are set up. We could use clicks because these analog sticks that are on the controller do click, but you have to make sure they don't move because any wrongful move and you'd have to start over. So, yeah. If you need to, if that's something you're going to do, if a click is what you're going to do, especially on the small controllers like this, put some of your fingers around it and keep all your fingers close by and just gently push down on the button. That way it doesn't accidentally move. But that's not what we're setting up any of the switches for. We're just going to get straight into
Cap Y. Cap X. Increase volume. R2. R1.
We're just going to straight up start using switch control.
Switch control. Switch control. Switches. 10. Button.
There are 10 switches. And you could easily stop scanning by moving one of the analog sticks, even though it's not programmed to do it using a game controller. But at this point, we are now ready to start using switch control on our own.
Alert. Accessibility shortcuts.
So I entered the accessibility shortcuts menu, and I believe, oh, you know
Cancel
what I
button.
forgot to do? We need to
Loops. 1
set
button.
up
Pause on first. Auto scanning. Timing. Heading.
a
Switch scanning style. Recipe. Switches.
home button.
Switches. Heading. Cap A. Bluetooth devices. Add new switch. Source. Heading. External. Button. Selected. Activate your
So in
external
this
switch.
case, I actually am going to, so I also have a start and select button. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my start button. That's a plus.
Alert. New switch.
And we're going to label it as S.
Cap S. Cap S. Can't save. Button. External. Back button.
We're going to locate home.
Notification. Short. Escape. App. Decrease. Increase. Access. Dictation. Is short. Home. App switch. Home.
Right there.
Switches. Back button.
Now, I believe we're ready.
Switches.
To
Add new
start
switch.
using
Switch control.
voice
Back button.
over off and switch control on. So we're going to we're going to start going into the accessibility shortcut by pressing the side button on our iPhone 3 times. 1, 2, 3.
Alert. Access. Switch control. Button.
And the second we enable switch control, voiceover will turn off automatically.
Voiceover off. Settings.
Okay, and
Screen recording. Settings.
you'll see it starts reading right away. So we're going to scroll right.
Screen record. Settings. Screen record. Settings. Screen recording. Settings.
Okay, I'm going to press A.
Switch control. Button to edit. Button.
So your items are grouped. What I'm going to do is, so every back button is labeled by the item of of the menu you're currently selected in, if that makes sense.
Switch control. Button to edit. Button.
So we're going to press A.
Switch control. Button. Switches. Heading.
So I'm using my right arrow.
Edit. Switch control. Switches. A. Select item. Button through Y. Decrease volume. Button. Switches.
Okay.
Heading.
So I'm going to do, okay, so my B button is not working as it should. So I have to use the left analog stick to stop scanning.
Switch control. Button to edit. Button.
So I'm going to go in here.
Switch control. Button.
So by clicking this,
Tap. More. Exit menu. More. Tap. Exit menu. Switch control. Button to edit. Button. Switch control. Button. Tap. More. Exit menu. Switch control. Button to edit. Button.
and I probably should have programmed one for App Switcher as well. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to go home. We're going to press our plus button.
Switches. Heading. A. Select item. Button through Y. Decrease volume. Button.
That's not doing anything.
Add new switch. Button. One switch should be assigned to the select item action to ensure switch control functions correctly. Bluetooth devices. Button. Exit group. Settings. Screen record. Settings.
So we're going to click on
Switch control. Button to edit. Button. Switch control. Button. Switches. Heading. Edit. Button.
Oh.
Switch control. Button. Tap. Switch control. Accessibility. Button.
Okay, so so they changed it a little bit. You never used to have to click on tap. Now you do.
Switch control. Heading.
So we're going to click.
Accessibility. Button. Tap. Accessibility.
So we're
Settings
back
button.
out of the accessibility menu.
Tap. Settings. Settings. Heading.
Now we're on the settings homepage. Now I'm going to demonstrate this working with sounds and haptics just because.
Search. Dictate. Button. Notifications. Button through screen time. Button. Notification. Sounds and haptics. Button.
We're going to go in here.
Tap. Settings. Sounds and haptics. Heading. Ringtone and alerts. Heading. Sound volume. 100%. Adjustable through haptics. Always play. Button. The volume buttons will not affect the volume of the ringtone and alerts.
That's fine.
Ringtone. Unfold. Button through default alerts. Pizzicato. Button. Ringtone. Unfold. Button.
So we're going to go into text tone just to show you that this works.
Text tone. Handoff button. Tap. Settings but. Sounds and haptics
and
button.
then I'm going to show you how you would select your items.
Text tone. Heading. Haptics none button. Store. Heading. Tone store button through download all purchase. Alert tones. Heading.
Yes, if you can see, my email's there, but whatever. That's why I'm not.
None button through rattle button.
That's why I'm not allowing it to read.
None button through cord button.
So all these items are subgrouped.
None button. Note default button.
So I can. Whenever you click on something, you have to start over. That's just how this works. We're going to click on
Antic but cord button. Exit group.
So
None
now-
button through
okay.
cord. Droplet button through rattle button. Droplet button. Handoff selected button. Milestone button.
We're going to click on milestone, for instance, to show you how that works.
Tap. Sounds and haptics button.
Yeah, see?
Text haptics none button. Store tone alert tones. Heading. None button through rattle. None but droplet button through droplet. Handoff button. Tap. Sounds and haptics button.
Yes, it's not really even playing. Okay, so now we're going to go to our home menu. Actually, let me try something.
Notification screen. Screen recording.
So the R1 key worked to access the notification center.
Screen recording. Sunday, March 10th. 7:55 p.m. Gaming through Messenger 11 minutes ago. Screen recording. Sunday, March 10th. Cancel button. Game Center heading.
Okay, that's not what I want.
Mitch 1780 started playing Brock the Investigator 2T ago. Add friends button. Add friends button.
That's not what I wanted to
Player
do.
photo to completed. February 10th, 2024. Blind driver. Complete the first level without crashing.
Okay, that's okay. I'm going to swipe up.
Gliding. Screen recording. Screen recording. Settings. Sounds and haptics button. Tap. Sounds and settings button.
And this is the reason why
Sounds and haptics heading.
I think that
Ringtone and alerts heading.
this
Sound volume 100%. Ringtone and alerts heading.
is exactly why I think that switch control is not always reliable.
Sounds and haptics
Because
heading. Settings button. Tap. Settings.
it
Settings,
doesn't
heading.
always work. Let me see.
Search. Dictate button.
Yeah, see, I don't think that the home button got programmed appropriately because it's not even doing anything.
Notifications button through screen time button. Wallpaper button through accessibility button. General button through accessibility button. Wallpaper general exit group. General button through general button. Control center button. Display home screen and accessibility button. Tap. Settings button. Vision heading. Voiceover off button through audio descriptions on button. Physical and motor heading.
Physical and motor.
Touch button through keyboards button. Touch but control nearby devices button through keyboard exit group. Control nearby devices but control nearby devices. Apple TV pointer control button.
Oh, that's new.
Keyboards button. Pointer control button. Apple TV remote button. Point keyboards exit group. Apple TV remote button. Control nearby devices button. Apple TV remote button. Pointer control button. Keyboards button. Exit group. Control nearby devices button through exit group. Touch button through keyboard exit group. Settings. Screen record settings. Settings but access vision voice physics touch exit group. Touch button through keyboards button. Touch control near exit group. Touch button through side button button. Touch button. Face ID switch control voice control off button.
There we go.
Switch control on button. Tap. Scroll down. Tap. Settings.
There we go.
Accessibility button. Switch control on. Switch control allows you to use your iPhone by sequentially highlighting items on the screen that can be activated through an adaptive accessory.
So that's exactly what the purpose of this is.
Switches 11 button through recipes 2 button. Switches 11 but tap. Accessibility. Accessibility button. Switch control button to edit button. Switches. Heading. A. Select item button through Y. Add new switch button.
Okay, so I think for this purpose, I'm going to use voiceover.
Accessibility shortcuts.
And I'm going to highlight voiceover with this.
Switch control selected button. Voiceover button.
And I'm going to hit A.
Tap. Voiceover on. Settings. Switch control. Back button. Switches. Switches. Heading. Bluetooth devices.
So keep this in mind. You really won't be able to scroll too far simply by using swipes. You have to use Explore by Touch to get voiceover to work properly again.
Edit. Switches. Add new switch button. Add edit button. Switch control. Back button.
So that's the only
Switch. Edit. Switches. Switches.
downside
Bluetooth
with this.
devices. But add new switch. Edit button. Switches. Switches. Heading. Switches. Switches. Heading. Switches. Cap X. Increase. Bluetooth devices. Edit. Switches. Heading.
That's really the only caveat with this. I'm going to go home as if...
Settings. One. Add new switch. One switch. Cap Y.
There we
Decrease
go.
volume. Cap X. Cap S. Home. Button.
Yeah, see, it's
Swipe
not
up
even
or down to select a custom
working.
action. Delete. Performed action. Delete. Cap X. Add new switch. Button. Source. External. Select. Activate your external source.
I'm
Back
going
button.
to do the right press.
Alert. New switch.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know if I activated the right one, but I think it worked.
Text field is
R.
editing. Cap T. Cap R. Cap R. P.
I'm going to leave it...
Pop P.
I'm going to label it as RP.
News. Save. Button. External. Back button. Alert.
Oh, wait.
Cancel.
Can't
button.
do that yet.
Shortcuts menu. Escape. Apple Watch. Decrease volume. Increase. Siri. Dictation. Accessibility. App is short. Control. Notification. Home. Switches. Back
There
button.
we go. Now I'm going to try
Alert. Accept. Switch control. Voiceover off. Settings.
Oh.
Screen recording. Settings. Switches. Button.
Okay, so now I'm going to try to see...
RP. Heading. Default. Home. Button.
Okay, yep.
Long press none button.
That's enough
Exit group.
for that. Yep, that's enough for that. I'm going to...
Exit group. Switches.
There we go.
Screen recording.
There we go.
FaceTime through settings.
There we go. Now I'm on my home screen. So here you'll be able to see your applications.
FaceTime through camera.
So like I said, it subgroups everything. So here we have FaceTime, calendar, photos, and camera.
Mail. 131 unread emails 3 o'clock. 8:02 p.m.
Okay,
Mail.
let's see what's in here.
131 unread emails.
My email,
Notes.
notes,
Reminders.
reminders,
Clock.
and clock.
8:02 p.m. Exit
Let
group.
me get out of here.
Mail. 131 unread emails. News through App Store.
News,
TV.
TV,
Podcasts.
podcasts,
App Store.
App Store,
Exit group. News through App Store. Maps through settings. Maps.
Maps,
Wallet.
Health, Wallet, and Settings.
Settings. Exit group. Maps through settings.
Now, it'll even, if you pay attention, also highlight items that VoiceOver will even see if you're using that.
Maps through settings. Exit group.
So I'm gonna get in here.
FaceTime through settings. Search. Page 1 of 15. Adjustable.
So I don't actually know how to scroll up and down with this. I would suppose there's a way, but I don't know. Then we go onto the dock.
Phone through music. Phone.
Phone,
Safari.
Safari,
Messages.
yep.
Phone. Exit group.
You get
Phone
the
through
idea.
music.
So I think that does it for this because there's not really much else I can show as I don't use this on a daily basis, but I really thought that this is a great feature to have available to you if you need it. Keep in mind, you as a blind person, if you are using this, should not rely on this on a day-to-day basis. Only use this if you are someone with low vision that cannot use their iPhone with VoiceOver all the time. So, yeah. Um, but in the meantime, I'm actually going to stop this video
Phone. Search. FaceTime through settings.
with
Screen recording.
the screen recording feature, so we can actually look at our status bar up top. So congrats to those of you who may be able to use this feature, and if you have any questions about it, just let me know and I will answer them as needed. So thanks for listening, and catch you guys later.
Screen recording. Tap. Expand. Dismiss. Expand. More. Row 1. Row 2. Row. Exit menu. More. Exit menu. More. Expand. Dismiss. Expand. Tap.
I'm actually going to stop this with voiceover because this is annoying.
Accessibility shortcuts. Voiceover button. Cancel button. Tap. Screen recording. Accessibility shortcuts. Switch voiceover button. Tap. Voiceover on. Weather. Screen recording.